Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Trime Time. And if you do not know what that is simply where I do my makeup and talk about a true crime story, but it is based out of Latin America. So hopefully you never heard it before. And if you have, hopefully you've never heard it like this before. So we just gonna go ahead and jump right on into it. Let's go. Now, before I start this story, I do want to give like a quick disclaimer really quick because this story may be very triggering. The content of this video could very well be triggering for some people. And I just want to let y'all know right now that this is a touchy subject for pretty much the majority of the world. And we're going to dive into it. Today's case, we are going to be talking about the tragic story of Emely Peguero. Emely Peguero was born on June 12, 2001 in the Dominican Republic to the proud parents Genaro Peguero and Adalgisa Polanco. She had two older siblings, a brother and a sister, and she grew up in the town called Cenoví in the Dominican Republic, as I stated. Now, growing up in the Dominican Republic, Emely's family is what some people would call poor. They didn't have the best of the best. They were just pretty much working jobs, making ends meet, taking care of their three kids. But they lived a happy, a fairly happy life. The mom and the dad were married. They were a very loving family. They were also very religious. They were Catholic. But like I said, they were overall happy just because they had each other pretty much. Like most normal kids, Emely would go outside when she was younger and play with the neighborhood kids. And one of those neighborhood kids just happened to be a young man by the name of Marlon Martinez. And I'm really going to try my hardest to call him Marlon and not Marlon because y'all will see in a minute. But anyhow, Marlon was actually born in New York City. I don't know if it was New York City. Let me not call it New York City. He was born in New York, so somewhere in the state of New York. So he was actually a U.S. citizen. But his mom moved him to the Dominican Republic when he was a little boy, and he lived with her and his stepfather. And I do believe his name is Robert, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just not going to name him in this story because I don't know, and he's not really that relevant anyway. So, yeah, he was growing up in the Dominican Republic in the same town as Emely in Cenoví, and when they were little kids, they would play together, but although they lived in the same neighborhood, they came from two completely different families because his family was very prestigious and rich. And if you saw their house, if I can pull up a picture of their house, I really will try because that thing was big. And the crazy thing to me is that they actually only lived like right down the road from Emely. It's like usually houses are fairly similar in nature, in neighborhoods, but not. Dog, my eyebrows. What the F? I'm not gonna fight with y'all though. Now, like I was saying, usually in neighborhoods, the houses are fairly similar, like size, shape. Sometimes, like you live in like cookie cutter homes where mostly all of them have the same floor model and everything like that. But that wasn't the case here. Let me fix my eyebrows real quick. Hold on, cause they cousins right now, and I need them to be sisters, or at least cousins that like to dress alike. Okay. Marlon's mom was an important political figure in the Dominican Republic. I can't remember the exact title, but she was, I think the actual title was the director of passports. So basically, she was letting people know, hey, yeah, you can get your passport. No, you can't get your passport, and stuff like that. So she was the director of passports, and sometimes she would have to work out of town. And Emely's dad did an interview sometime last year in 2020, and he said that when Marlone's mom, Marlene, that's why I decided I would probably call her, I would try to call him Marlon because it's very easy to say Marlon and then with her to say Marlon as well, because they spelled like the same with one letter different, and I pronounce them both the same in English, Marlon. When Marlon's mom, Marlene, would go out of town to work, Emily's dad said that sometimes he would stay over at their house. So they knew each other. And like I said, as they grew up, they played with each other, but they did not go to the same school. Marlone's mom sent him to, like a prestigious school. I'm just going to assume, sorry, here, that it was a private school that you had to pay for outside of the city. He didn't go to the public school like the one that most of the Dominican children in that neighborhood went to. He went to a different school. And I did not mention this, but he is 3 years older than Emily. So let's keep that in mind, okay? So, like I said, they would grow up, they would play with each other, and at some point they developed romantic feelings for each other on some love and basketball stuff, like, except for they wasn't playing basketball. They grew up and they grew in love. So when Emily was 12 and Marlon was 15, yes, I know that sounds crazy, but before y'all get all judgmental, check your grannies and your grandpappies, because I'm pretty sure Poppy is older than your grandma by more than 3 years. So while that might sound like because it sounds like it's a 3 year age gap. It's not as big as it sounds, because it's just not. It's just not. Anyways, so fast forward to the year 2017. They have been dating all this time. So they have been together for 4 years. Emily was now 16 years old and Marlon was now 19. They had been doing grown-up activities, and unfortunately, Emily has fallen pregnant at the tender age of 15. This is devastating to her. She didn't know really what to do. Neither did Marlon, because they did not tell their parents. They didn't tell anybody. Well, at least Emily didn't. I'm not 100% sure how late Marlon told his parents. But August of 2017, Emily by that time had turned 16, Marlon 19, and Emily decides, okay, I'm 5 months pregnant now. It's time to tell my parents. So that's what she does. On August 20th, 2017, Emily tells her mother and her sister that she is pregnant. And she told Emily that she had her support and that they were going to get through this together. So on August 21st, 2007, I'm not going to say the year no more, I promise. So on August 21st, her mom, herself, and Marlon went to the doctor to confirm her pregnancy, which Emily already knew. But I mean, as a mother, I could understand her saying, hey, we need to go to the doctor. You're 5 months along. Or matter of fact, I don't even think she knew she was 5 months along. I think this is when the doctors told her that she was 5 months along. And she also found out that she was having a baby boy. When Emily's dad got home that day for lunch at around 11 o'clock, Emily's mom and her sister were in the kitchen crying, and he wanted to know what happened. Like, what's wrong? Why are y'all crying? Like, it's lunchtime. Why are we not eating? So they told him that Emily was pregnant with Marlon's baby, and that just threw his whole day off, as it would any parent. But again, everybody said that they supported Emily and Marlon and that they're here for them if they need them. So on the 23rd of August at 8:30 in the morning, Marlon came over to Emily's house to pick her up, and he told her mom that they had another doctor's appointment to confirm some results from the previous doctor's appointment and that they would be back later. So naturally, Emily's mom didn't have a problem with this because, I mean, at this point, he's a part of our family. He's been a part of our family for the longest already anyways. Y'all going to a doctor's appointment. Let me know how it go, right? So they go ahead and leave, and the day passes. The day keep on going and going and going. And around, I believe, what is said to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Marlon comes back home. He's over at his little mansion, doing what he do in his mansion. I really don't know what people do in mansions because I don't have one. But he's doing his little thing. And Emily's sister is like, hey, Mom, don't you think it's kind of weird that Marlon is back and Emily's not? And her mom was like, yeah, it is. Let's go see what's up. So they asked Marlon, like, hey, where's Emily? She left with you and you back and she not. Where's she at? Marlon goes on to tell Emily's mom that he hadn't seen her since earlier that morning. He dropped her off at the gas station and she got into a car with what he supposed was her uncle, and her uncle was going to take her to the doctor's appointment. And he didn't see her after she got out of the car at the gas station. That was the last time he had seen her. And her mom was like, at the gas station? You dropped her off to somebody else at the gas station? Okay. So Miss Adalgisa, using her spidey senses, which are actually just mom intuition, she goes down to the gas station and she's like, excuse me, Mr. Gas Station Attendant, can I see the footage for today around 8:30 this morning? So she goes and looks at the gas station footage, and lo and behold, she does not see her daughter anywhere. She don't even see Marlon on the gas station footage. So why you lying, Marlon? So day turns into night and there's absolutely no sign of Emily anywhere. She's not answering texts via WhatsApp. She's not on her social medias because, mind y'all, this is 2017 and she was a 15-year-old girl, 16 at this point, my bad. And she was always on her phone. Hell, grown-ups at this point are always on their phones, you know? So everybody was kind of wondering, like, all her friends were like, hey, where Emily? Like, I don't know what's up, but I ain't heard from Emily. I have not heard from her. Nobody's heard from her. August 23rd turns into August 24th, and there is still no sign of Emily. So her mother does what any loving parent would do. She goes to the authorities. She goes to tell them, hey, my daughter is missing and I need help. So they hold a press conference for her where she immediately says, I think Marlon and his mama has something to do with it. Now, this is actually just kind of like a loose quote because, again, everything that I saw and that I read was in Spanish. So basically, during this news press conference, Adalgisa, which is Emily's mom, said something to the effect of, just give me my daughter back. Just return my daughter. She is 5 months pregnant and we just want her back. Now, because of this press conference that her mother had held, what am I doing? I don't know. Anyway, because of this press conference that Adalgisa had held, saying that she thought Marlon and Marlene were in this, they decided themselves, well, Marlene decided, that she would do a press conference, her and her son. But they didn't do this press conference down at the police station, such as Emily's parents. Nope. Remember, I told you she was a prominent member of the Dominican, she was somebody important. And she called the press conference. She called her reporter friends, and she called them to do a press conference in her living room, right down the road from Emily's house. So they hold this press conference at Marlene's mansion, and Marlon talks first. He basically says, him and Emily, they had some problems, but there's nothing that was out of the ordinary for regular couples. This is just normal. They have regular problems like regular couples. And that he wants her to come home. It doesn't matter where she is, just please come home. He's pleading with her. He looks like he's trying to cry. And he says, Emily, we are waiting for you with open arms. You have everybody's support. Come home. After Marlon talks, his mom, Marlene, decides that it's time for her to talk. And this right here, y'all, is where shit hit the fan because, yes, this is just dumb. She's just dumb at this point. So when she starts to talk, she says she was 5 months pregnant. We had already accepted the pregnancy. She was already a part of our family. And this is when a reporter kind of caught her and she was like, is? And so Marlene was like, she is a part of our family, actually. And it's like, why are you talking about her in past tense? At this point, she just missing. Why is you putting that? Why is you putting that energy out into the world to say that she's already dead? Like, don't do that unless you know something that we don't know. But this press conference that they held at their house did nothing to help them, nothing at all. Because, like I said, Adalgisa had already said she was suspicious, and that made the people of the Dominican, like of Sanovi, look at her, look at Marlene and Marlon, like, y'all are a little suspicious. And now you talking about she was a part of y'all family, and she was five months pregnant. She is still pregnant, ain't she? Now, because of all the suspicion surrounding him and his mom, Marlon decided on the 25th of August, which would have also been my 28th birthday, over here in the States. Yes, 25th of August. I am a Virgo. Thank you. But he decided to go over to Emily's parents' house, which dude got some balls, because I'm not trying to go over to parents' house and everybody think I did it. That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do that. That's just dumb. Because if her daddy would have killed you right on the spot, I mean, wouldn't anybody have blamed him? Because I wouldn't have. I'm just saying. Even if it is just suspicion, like, yeah, I'm not trying. I'm not gonna try it. But anyways, the family convinced him to take his little hindsight down to the police station, because they was probably gonna end up arresting him and questioning him anyways, or at least just questioning him at the least. And so they convinced him to go down to the station, which he did, and that is where they arrested him, but not like for anything. They just pretty much arrested him as the prime suspect in Emily's disappearance at this point. So while Marlon is sitting there on his 3-month provisional prison sentence, investigators are still investigating. And on the 28th of August, they pinged the location of Emily's phone. And y'all will never guess where this damn phone was at. Like, y'all just will not guess. So like I said, they pinged the geological location of Emily's phone, and the phone turned up in San Francisco de Marcois, which was about an hour away from Sanovi, where Emily lived. This foundation always looks crazy on me. It pinged in a location in San Francisco Marcois, which was an hour away from Sanovi, at an apartment that was owned by none other than Marlene, the mom. She would use this house in San Francisco Marcois when she was out of town for work, so that she wouldn't have to keep driving an hour back and forth. So she would just stay here. And that is where Emily's phone pinged. Now, they went straight to this apartment, like no hesitation, just drove straight on over. As soon as they got the location, they drove right on over, and guess what they found inside? They found a blood-soaked mattress and some towels. And I'm guessing the towels had blood on them too, but like it didn't necessarily say that, but that's just what I'm guessing, is that the towels had blood on them also. So now it's like, it's not looking good for y'all, Marlene. Like, yeah. Now, after the authorities had told the news about their discovery and everything, a guy named Kelvin Jimenez, he came forward. He is actually the security guard for that apartment complex, and he said that he saw Marlon with a sack leaving the apartment on the 23rd, which is the day that Emily disappeared. So, yeah. Y'all not gonna believe what he tells the investigators next. Like, cause I was like flabbergasted. I was shocked, appalled. I was actually just throwed off. Really. Honestly, just throw it all the way off. Come on now, blend, baby.
Mom.
Yes, sir.
Wait, are you like a clown or something?
No.
What are you doing?
I'm just making a makeup video.
He told investigators that sometime earlier that week, Marlene had came and she had asked him to see the footage of whatever it is that he was talking about, because I'm guessing that either she knew that there would be footage or he told her like, hey, I saw your son doing something real suspicious and you might want to see this. Either way, she saw the video footage and she saw him carrying a sack outside, putting it in his trunk. And the security guard, Kelvin, said that she put her hands on her face and she started screaming like the little kid in Home Alone, just going crazy, right? And that the next day, the footage gone, just disappeared. Walked out the security room. Don't know where it went. He don't know if the lady took it or what. I don't know why that blew my mind so much. It was just like, how did she get the footage? How did she just steal the footage? I don't get it. It's a security office. It's supposed to be secure, right? So on the 30th of August, I guess Marlene had got wind that the police had talked to Kelvin, and she decided that it would be best to turn herself in. And she did not say that she was turning herself in because she was guilty. She said she turned herself in because she just wanted to cooperate with authorities. At least that's what her lawyer told her to say. One of the reporters asked her, are you involved with the disappearance of Emely? She said, no, I never would be. I only acted as a mother. And that right there sent up some little red flags with me. It's like, you only acted as a mother in what way? So Marlon might have gotten wind that his mom was either in custody or that she turned herself in because he decided that it would be the best idea for him to just go ahead and confess to the crime. He said that, I did it, y'all. I did it. I'm sorry, y'all. I killed her. I'm just going to go ahead and confess. I killed Emely. My mama didn't have nothing to do with this. It was all me. I killed her. I'm sorry, y'all. He confessed. He said that he killed Emely and that it was a botched abortion attempt and that he dumped her body in a local landfill. Now, the thing that I didn't tell y'all at the beginning of this story is that abortion is illegal in the Dominican Republic, and anybody who assists with abortion is facing jail time. That includes medical staff, family, friends, and yourself. So, yeah, he was like, I tried to give her an abortion. It didn't work out. She died, and I panicked, and I threw her in a landfill. Now, once everybody got wind of this, all of like Sanovi damn near was out there at the landfill searching and searching and searching for her. They was like, we got to find this young girl. We have to find her. This is now is confirmed that she's dead. We have to get her body back to her family so that she can have a proper memorial and that they can mourn the loss of their daughter and grandson properly, right? So Marlon is sitting there in the back of the police car just looking stupid in the face because he done confessed to murder, and the whole town of Sanovi is like looking for this girl. Some of them are surrounding the car, like threatening Marlon, and like, now they were out there for 7 hours and they did not find Emely. So people were starting to think, oh dang, I was supposed to do my highlight first. Oh well. So people were starting to think like, hey, either you lied or we just didn't find her. But I'm thinking they thought that they just didn't find her because why would he lie? He already confessed. So there's that. Now on the 31st of August, Emily's brother said that he started, Eugenio is his name. He said he started getting messages on WhatsApp saying, hey, we think there's been a body found out here in the province of Espaillat, which is also an hour away from Sanovi. So hearing this news, Eugenio and his dad flew out the house and headed right on down to the province of Espaillat, which was an hour away, like I said, just like to confirm or deny it. When they got there, there was a bunch of police and there was a crowd forming around a suitcase that they said that they think a body was in. And police opened up the suitcase, and unfortunately, the rumors were true. There was a body inside, and it was the body of Emely and her unborn son. So now that Emily's body was found, the police had to determine, or the coroner had to determine, a cause of death. And I mean, it was just really sad. There was a lot of people out there. There was a lot of people who really supported the family, and they just, I don't know, they really rallied around them because I forgot to mention that the day before they found Emely's body, they were in the streets rioting. They were burning tires. They were saying that they was about to pull up on Marlone's house and shit, huff and puff and blow that bitch down if he didn't tell them where she was. But then later on that night, like I said, they found the body. It was around 8 o'clock p.m. when they made the discovery. And when I tell y'all, I saw the pictures of Emily's body in that suitcase, and it broke my heart, honestly. Like, not only was she so young, but there was an unborn child there also, and his only sin was having a poor mom. Like, that's really what this was about at the end of the day. She was just poor, and that was what it was. So after the discovery of Emely and her baby, they were sent to the coroner, and basically NCIS on September 1st came out with their statement of the cause of death. And the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head and internal bleeding due to a perforation of the uterus. So Marlone basically tried to abort their child. Something went wrong. He hit her over the head and she died, and he hid the body. Now, going back to August 23rd when he picked her up for the doctor's appointment, I'm gonna tell y'all what really happened at that point. So, as we all know, they never ended up going to the doctor's office because that was all a lie. He was never going to take her to the doctor's office. He took her straight to San Francisco Marcois, to his mother's apartment, where prosecutors say he made her drink a unknown liquid substance that was supposed to cause abortion. And I don't know if something went wrong, or, well, obviously something went wrong, but like, as far as the drink goes, like, maybe she was like, sir, what the hell is this? I'm not about to drink that. Or she drank it and was like, not feeling like, I don't know. But at some point he hit her over the head and caused blunt force trauma, which is what caused blunt force trauma to the head. And he tried to abort the baby, and later on realized that she was dead. And that's when he put her in the sack and took her out to her car, which is what the security guard saw. And there's also security footage of him coming back from San Francisco Marcois at a gas station. And it is believed that Emely was in the trunk when he got gas to come back. And he ended up throwing her body over a bridge in Saint-Ovi. He threw her over the bridge, and then he called his mom because he had panicked. And this is what I was saying when I said, like, she acted like a mother, but in what way? Because I can understand acting like a mother and trying to get your son, I don't want to say not to confess, but I would tell him, like, hey, we're going to get you the best lawyer. We're going to fight this. You know, just be there supportive as a mother. Like, you did something stupid, but I'm not going to leave your side. And we gonna get you a bomb-ass lawyer. Like, yeah, not what Marlene said. Marlene got mad at him, not because he killed Emely, but because he was being sloppy and he threw her body over a bridge in Saint-Ovi where it could be found easily. So that's why I want to slap the bitch. Like, ma'am. Dumb. So with this information, Marlene decided to call up some friends of hers, and she solicited their help. Now, mind you, I think a lot of these people who are involved with this only did certain things because she was an important figure and she was the director of passports, and she was probably like, hey, I can get you a passport with no background check. Like, if you got a criminal record, that don't even matter because I got you if you help me. Right? Like, that's probably what she did to the security guard. Like, let me see the footage. Give it here. You know, he probably just handed it over to her. Like, just flat out handed it straight on over to her. But anyways, after They discussed what to do with Emily's body. They went and recovered it and took it out of the sack, and they just moved her into the suitcase in which she was found, drove an hour away, and then dumped her on the side of the road. And that is where she was found on the 31st. So obviously, after they found Emily, Marlon and Marlene were formally charged. Marlene was never really charged with the actual murder. She was only charged with like tampering with the body and like being complicit with the crime and helping her son in the way that she did with the crime. So yeah, in September of 2018, so a year and some change after the disappearance, Marlon was sentenced to 30 years in prison, and his mother was sentenced to 5 years for her involvement in the crime, which sent the city in an uproar because they felt like she deserved more time. And yeah, they really just were not happy campers at all, as you can imagine. So later on, they both appealed their sentences, and the judges was like, no, Marlon, you sit your happy ass down because you're still sentenced to 30 years, sir. That's not changing. However, in the case of Marlene, his mother, they reduced her sentence to only 2 years, which by this time it was 2019, and she had already served her 2 year sentence. So as of right now, Marlene is a free woman. I have no idea what she's doing with her life. Hopefully she's somewhere living miserably and not happy at all with no money left because she's a bitch. Like, the whole thing just really pissed me off because that family trusted your family. It was like you left your kid with them sometimes. So it wasn't like y'all were unfamiliar with each other. It's almost like she used them as a nanny or something but they like were just the nannies because once it came time for him to have a kid with her, it was like, oh, no, 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 no. We can't be associated with this family. We can't do that. No, 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 no. Like, get the hell out of here. And if you was that embarrassed and if you felt that strongly about it, bro, he could have just been a deadbeat. Y'all could have denied that baby to the ends of the world and denied a paternity test. I mean, unless the baby looked exactly like Marlon, then it was kind of going to be like, but whatever. Y'all could have just threw some money. I mean, I don't want to say that, but like, I guess my whole point is y'all could have gave them some money to take care of the baby and been done. Like, because at the end of the day, like even in their press conference, they were like, oh, we accepted the baby. She had everyone's support. But if she had everybody's support, why is y'all trying to abort the child? Because honestly, I think that Marlene had got up into Marlon's ear and was like, oh no, son, you're going to have to take care of that because we can't be associated. Not like that. Not in that way. It's just really frustrating and annoying, aggravating because this poor young girl she did not have to die. Like, I think that if Marlene would have not gotten in her son's ear, I don't think that he would have been so inclined to take care of the situation if his mother wasn't just up in his ear talking all that classist stuff like, oh yeah, she's so poor. Shut up, bitch. In conclusion, y'all, it's just never that serious. If you are a young person, I just want y'all to know that having a baby young is not the end of the world. That don't mean you can't finish school. It don't mean you can't complete your goals. It just means that it may be a little bit harder and you might have to grind a little bit more and, find a little bit of more support, but it's not undoable. It did not have to go there. Like, it just didn't have to go there. Ooh, too much? It's never too much, I like. All right, y'all. So I just went ahead and finished my eye look while I was away. But anyways, as I was saying, it's never that serious. And fellas, I'm not really encouraging it. But worst comes to worst, sir, you could just be a deadbeat. Like, seriously. You don't have to go killing your girlfriends. And the thing that bothers me so bad is that, like, the whole family trusted him. It's like, who can you trust? All right, y'all. So this is the final look. This is what I'm working with here. Tell me what you guys think, because quite frankly, while I was doing it, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what look I was going for. And as y'all heard my son, he came for my whole entire life. And I'm telling you, it be your own damn kids. But anyways, guys, that is it for this story. That is the end of this look. Let me know what you guys think about everything involving this case. Do y'all think his mom put a bug in his ear? Do y'all think it was his idea? If you are a mom, tell me, like, would you help your son the way Marlene did? Or would you turn them in? Like, what would you do as a parent? Anyways, guys, that is it. I love you all so very much, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye. I don't know what that was. Get out of here, girl. Bye.